Howdy folks, here's a video for the Work Smarter Not Harder category. I'm going to take a CSI investigative type cue that was forwarded by Taxi last month, which was then signed by a library about a week later. I'm going to take that cue and use it for a new Taxi listing. Why? Because there's a new listing for a different library based on the description, but that listing uses 3 of the same CSI type investigation references as the one I was forwarded on. So it makes sense. If I nailed it last time, I should nail it again. Take a cue I've got, tweak it, modify it, make it original, submit it. You would think that it's going to be a forward. So that's the art of working smarter, not harder. Reusing your content, creating templates, things of that sort. Because as I always say, this is a business based not only on quality, but quantity. So you've got to be able to generate music that libraries want in a short amount of time and give them a bunch of it. And this is one way you can work smarter, not harder. So let's look at the listing. CSI Investigative Tension Instrumental Cues by a very successful boutique music library distributed by Universal for placements and promotions, ads, and TV. This is a catalog you want to be in. That's an endorsement. Taxi likes or loves this library. I have no idea what library this is. I do have a slight concern. Am I with them already? Twice this year, I've had forwards to libraries that ended up being libraries I'm already in. So threw $5 away here, $10 away there, which is fine. It's good to get forwards and continue to validate my skills and capabilities with the Taxi screeners. But if I reached out to the library and said, hey, is this your listing? But then again, you have no way of knowing. So if you're in libraries, maybe just reach out to them occasionally. Hey, got any listings in Taxi right now? Or what are you looking for now? So I probably could have saved some money. But that's here nor there. So let's look at this listing catalog you want to be in. Here's 3 references. And again, these references were in this previous listing. I'm going to try to play a couple seconds. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. So this is kind of what they're looking for. So there you go. Pretty straightforward. Pulsing, beats, drone, synths, etc. So give them top-notch CSI style investigative tension instrumental cues. That's a mouthful. Growing sense of suspense, urgency, pulsing rhythms, engaging motifs, slick arrangements in the general wheelhouse of the references. Craft your cues around a singular motif. That's incredibly important. That's the whole keep it simple, stupid KISS method. I've got a video on that I can link at the end. Less is better. More is not in these cases. People get returns because they got too much going on, either too much melodically, too much harmonically, or just too many instruments going on. This is a very straight-ahead, simple genre. Let's see, about 2 minutes long, good edit points, non-faded endings, no bad samples. Important note from a library, text members, when something is all caps and bold, you need to read it twice, okay? Important note from library, and they're quoting the person now. Many composers throw in way too many ideas and are not focused on one central motif. They try to keep things interesting by adding new harmonic lines and elements, melodies, improv. No, instead of focusing on the production and textures. Put it simply, and there we go. I wasn't even playing that. Keep it simple. This particular library does not want A and B sections. Stick with one motif. That's what we call crystal clear. If you're not doing one motif, you are doing it wrong for this particular listing. And then also some more stuff in bold. This company has a strong preference, italics, bold, for composers who understand music licensing and how library deals are structured. Now, let's give a listen to the original track that I did. This is a forward. I've already retitled it. Sidebar here. I've titled this The Search Continues. That's the title of the project I'm going to create in this video. There was a different title. Talked to some friends of mine over the past few months, and a few folks have said, start with a title. Get a title that will help you craft your sonic message and imagery. So if you have a title, you can keep focused on what's the mood you're trying to generate, because the goal in TV music is not to write great songs. The goal is to set the mood exactly as the editor and director want to see it. So that song title can help you kind of focus your music. So let's just play a part of what I had used in the past. There we go. So pretty straightforward. Let's look at this visually speaking. I don't have a whole lot going on here. You know, I broke out of my rules. I didn't color code this properly. I always have things coded so I can see things visually, percussion versus harmonics, etc. Okay, good. That's looking a little better. So blue is bass, purple is melody, harmonic, chordal stuff, and red is percussion. Why do I do that? Because if I need to do a percussion only mix, right away, bam, I know, click on those, solo them, there we go, I can do a bounce. No percussion, click on all these, solo them, bounce, etc. So it's just a way to work smarter, work quicker, and everyone's got their own flow. Do what you got to do. You do you, okay? So breaking this down from a content perspective, there are only 13 tracks total, and some are just a little bit of stuff. Breaking down the pieces here, start from the beginning. This is an omnisphere patch. Well, the listing said, make sure it don't sound just like Omnisphere. If you add enough content, it won't sound just like Omnisphere. So I got that low piano note here. That might be the Giant. That might be, what is that? Let's take a look and see. The Giant. That's a big old piano, nice, good for low notes. We got some same piano, just a little higher up, some melody theme type stuff. This is where the theme comes in. A simple theme. The last two notes were different the second time, slightly different, keeping things just interesting enough for the listener without distracting them. And then there's a little change here, I think. So that's a tension. There's a major seventh on a minor chord there. So there's that's the last piece of the theme. So you got your initial phrase right here, slightly changed, one note, and then the end of the phrase. So this whole section here, you could say, is one phrase. But it's super simple, super sparse. It's not long playing. It's not complicated or technically difficult. But that's that. So I have some ambient guitar here, some alchemy patch. What alchemy patch do we have here? So that's just called ambient guitar, pretty straightforward. So that's just single notes, I believe. Let's pretty straightforward. What do you got here? Steps of Urgency, another Omnisphere patch. Little percussion in the background, a little pulsing synthy kind of thing. Now let's hear the bass we got here coming up. Just another pad. Now notice something here. This is described, this is called deep bass patterns. Why is that? Well, I've got deep bass patterns up here. All I did was duplicate this down here on a different patch. So I'm going to rename this now. Shift N to rename stuff, then bam, there you go. So yeah, you're taking things, same thing happened here. These deep bass patterns, I just have a single note, but then I dragged it down or copied it onto a new track. So I'm going to rename that to Steps of Urgency. Bam, now they're all same. What do we have down here in the red? We have some perk, some basic perk here. This is from Omnisphere also. And that repeats 6 times. What do we have over here? Another Omnisphere patch. Kind of sounds like Damage, you know, looping, percussion, muffled type stuff, high pitch, low pitch together. It's all there. Lethal. I've always been a big fan of Lethal, the Rumpler. Nice reverby, muffled impact. And then, of course, at the end, we've got the wonderful greatness and contact of Rise and Hit. And there's infinite amount of rises and hits in Rise and Hit. Definitely worth having if you do any kind of tension or trailers and things of that sort. Did I cover the bass already? What do we got here? This is a bass pad. I think I covered everything. Piano, ambient guitar, piano, low notes. That's it. So there's not a lot going on. Also notice I've got this thing set at a tempo where each section is exactly 15 seconds. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. So I know that's a minute. So if I do a proper fade in these last bar right here, I've got a 59.5 second cue ready to go. You want 29.5? Start here. So if you work in tempos that are easily divisible by time, you can make your work a lot easier. Because many libraries want 30 seconds, 60 seconds, some want 15 seconds. So if you're creating stuff like this, you're not married to any tempo. Do the math. It's pretty straightforward to figure out, how many beats and things of that sort you need for a certain tempo and a certain, amount of time. Anyway, I digress. So let's get back into actually making this new. So first I'm going to save my work because I hadn't done that in a while. So the search continues. Let's begin this track. First thing I do, and specifically for taking something old and making it something new, is I highlight everything and I recolor it all the same color, some kind of dark something out of the way. Let's just call this, let this dark, whatever. Khaki, military type green, who knows? Yeah, there you go, no military green. Why do I do that? Because I want to know what I've changed and what I haven't changed during my workflow. I want to avoid this sounding anything like the previous track. So deep bass patterns, let's go back to the beginning here and we'll solo this. What I could do, for starters, to make it different, let's select the whole thing, all the harmonic stuff, and we're going to change it and drag it. What we in now? We are in D minor. Let's just take this all, Command A, all of it, and we're going to go up to E minor. So now we've got a track in a different key. And I didn't bother dragging the guys on the bottom, the percussion, because they are not tonally based. The key doesn't matter to them. Okay. Do we want to change our patch? We've got a deep bass pattern at the beginning. Let's break open alchemy here. So we have something that sounds similar to that. Too strong. That's kind of cool. How would it sound lower? Okay, let's go with that. Echolocation synth. Okay, so I have now changed it. I'm going to rename it. So Shift N, echolocation synth. Boom. Boom. We're done. So now what I can do? Let's change it back to the color it should be, and I know that I've done that track. Let's go to my lethal bass. Go back over here and start. It's a low bass pad. I can keep that. Let's add this one with it and see how they sound together. Yeah, that works completely fine. I'm going to keep that one as is. Color it. Done. So now we get the piano. We have a low piano strike. So what do I do with it? That sets a certain feeling where we got pulsing and then this boom, this thing happens. What can I do to make that unique and different and new? I mean, go with fifths, open fifths. I could do that, add another note to it. So I think that works. So, what do you do? Option drag, option drag, and do the same thing over here. Now I notice I got two notes here. What's happening here? It's just octaves. I don't know that I need to do the octaves again, so I'll keep this the same. We can always come back and change that. All I did that second time was add an octave in that single note. Okay, boom. So we're done there. Let's highlight all that, color it. See how fast we're going here? There's not a lot of brain surgery or rocket science going on. I'm going to hold off on the melody for now. It's ambient guitar. So let's mute that. Let's just mute everything. Turn everything off until I need it. So. Okay, so I'm just doing flat 6 to 5. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. What can I do to make that patch a little different? I'm trying some of the variations within this patch here. That work? It's a little busy, but I can change that. It's got a long delay to it. Okay, I'm gonna go with a single note. See what happens here. Let's try that. We'll keep the notes exactly as they are. I'm gonna keep it all. I'm gonna take that out and just play based on what I'm hearing. Okay, see how down that delay rings? So if I just do this, quantize that, keep it right there. And then I'm going to, let's see here, a couple things I can do here. Make that the full, oops, come back. Another thing you might notice here, I've got it highlighted now, it's a full phrase length. I'm just gonna repeat it, Command R, drag it over here, Command R again. Okay, you might notice something different. This is a 6-bar phrase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Music is usually in 4-bar, 8-bar phrases, overwhelming majority of that. 6-bar phrase, I did that because I wanted to get that 15-second, 30-second equal division of time. But also it keeps things a little more unique for the listener. They're not, subconsciously in Western music, you think everything's in 4-bar phrases and that's, this phrase will extend. But when you shorten that, whether you shorten the meter from 4/4 to 3/4, or you shorten a phrase in a song from 8 bars to 7, like "Hey Jude," the verse is 7 bars, not 8. You're creating some subconscious, attention or change or interest for the listener by just not keeping everything marching band 4/4, 4 bars, 8 bars, etc. So 6-bar phrases here. So I changed what the guitar was doing. I had 3 different notes in this little section here. Now I've got one note that's got a lot of repeating going on. Now let's add the steps of urgency. What do I got here? Let's solo that for a second. Another pulsing track. So we need to change that one out. So let's give it a listen. So I want to remember we're trying to replicate that was successful when the first was submitted. So we want to find something that's in that same register, same kind of feel. That might. Compared to, I think this is different enough. So just going to change that patch. Steps Fraternity 2. So I didn't change any notes, I just changed the patch I was using. So there's that, and then I got a pad. I mean, it's a pad. Not a lot going on here. Let's see what we got. Kind of a grainy. Let's keep the one we had originally, Distant Memories. But I'm going to actually edit it. Let's hit the old orb feature in Omnisphere. That's different enough, I think. We'll stick with that. Okay, so now let's see what we got so far. So I'm thinking that I'm hearing that pulsing. Might be a little busy, but I can bring that down in the mixer here, I think. Okay. Okay, so those are all done. So I forgot to color these guys, so these are now done. So now I've got enough color here. Now I need to go back and find my motif. Remember, we want a singular motif. We were doing that with a piano. The original one would sound like this over the new background. You know that piano sound, that boom boom. There's a TV show that's I don't know if it's Hill Street Blues or what. If you remember that, put it in the comments. I don't remember. It's driving me nuts. Get us a new melody here. And remember, this whole phrase was this, so we're gonna delete that. And notice it's kind of sparse. Here, here, here. That's all I got. So something you can do if you visual, you could create a new track. Hitting the plus sign here. I'm going to mute this one here. Now I can see visually where was my melody in this track, and now when I record here, I can see where I was playing, so I can keep that same amount of space. Anything you can do to help replicate what you did before. So I don't want to get into horror, but I want to. This is tension. This is crime. It was kind of upper register, wasn't it? Let me see here. I think it was. Yeah, it was upper register. So that'll work. Well, simple. Boom. Do I really need to quantize that? I don't think so. So now I've got a different melody, same spacing between the two, different notes, same concept. They're all similar, yet slightly different from one another. So I've got that done. So now, take that here, replicate that here, replicate that here, replicate that here. Boom. Now I've got a new melody. I no longer need this one here, so delete the notes, delete the instrument. Let's save while we're at it. The last harmonic element I have is strings. And strings are important. let's take a look at what I've got. There's some really good strings. They're subtle, out of the way, in Omnisphere. This whole damn thing is Omnisphere, or most of it, and Alchemy. So what have I got here? The Adagio Transparent Strings Bright. I love these strings. Just listen to them. Scoring wise, there's not a lot going on here. Very, very simple stuff. Very, very easy. Solo them out. E minor, C, and A minor. You know, it's just the basic characteristic chords of E minor. So, and then how much busier do I get over time? I don't really. So that's the whole thing. It's just three notes, sometimes four at the end. With the last measure here, we're getting big. So I want to keep it as a reference. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that again. Going to turn it off so it's not making any noise. And now we're going to record my new string starting here. Let's get a marker in there. Just noodle for a bit. So yeah, so what did I do here before? I had minor third and root in the top, and then went up. So I was in that middle, really right around middle C on the keyboard. So let's just start some stuff here. And again, it wasn't super busy, so I'm just going to play some strings. And what I did when I recorded the original one, I just kind of played what I felt and then fixed it if I needed to. So let's add the strings, the initial strings here. I'll turn these guys off, don't need those yet. So let's see what we got. And I'm walking you through my whole process. The video is going to be long, but I want you to see every aspect. A little pause there for a slight edit point. Fix these notes. These guys end a little too late, so I want to get these guys here a little. Come on, there you go. while I'm thinking about that, I'm gonna end, instead of a low note, we're gonna end at a high note. It's a little loud though, so I'll bring that down some. Somewhere in the middle. Yeah, that works for me. So I got my strings now, so I can delete my old strings. Bye-bye. Thank you for playing. Appreciate your help. And what did I add here? Probably low strings on the on this guy. So let's take a peek. Nope, that was incorrect. So I got a top line kind of, not a top line, just a higher note. Okay, so I get it. So I've got a high note here. And what's the highest note I have in my strings right now? That's the very end. So, but I'm in that register up here. Okay, so we're going to add a note there. Boom. So let's get rid of this guy. So I know where I'm at. And we'll come in. Okay, I tried something different there. That was a long note before. I started doing this little simple pattern here. Of course, it's a slow attack to that note, so I got to do some things here. So let's first make this all quarter notes. Select all Q, because I got a quarter note over here. And now there's going to be a delay. Let me put my click track on. Hear how that's the note is later than the click. So there's a couple ways I can do that. I can select them all and drag them. Let's go back, I don't know, an eighth note. So now I'm ahead, so we can go with 16th note. I might be close enough. Let's see. So it's an eighth note worth of attack transient. So let's try it here without the click and see if it sounds natural. I think it's between an eighth and a 16th note. So I can drag a little bit back. Try it again. Okay, yeah, that works for me. And now we got my percussion. So my melodic stuff is all done. So let's just color that. Boom. All that stuff's done. Now let's go to my percussion and see what we got here. And in many cases it can stay the same. Depends on how it's being used. Let's go back to the beginning first. Very, very simple. I'm not trying to be perfect here. Let's start to quantize that to 8 notes. Now I want to make these all roughly the same velocity so that I can easily mix them. So let's just take them all here. Now I'll tell you what, even though this is 4 bars, I'm going to repeat this one more time. And now we got like a 4-bar loop over a 6-bar phrase. Again, adding some subtle subconscious variety to the listener so it's not always the same. Sounds like this. That works for me. So we'll call that's percussion. Now what do we got up here in the second section? This is a loop. Let's see if there's variety within the patch, or do you find another one? That was E. Okay, so it's not different. It's just the same, just down pitch-wise, it's different. So you need to find something different here. Put it together. That works. So we got the percussion guys now, so I'll color that red. Okay, so what do we got left? A couple of impacts and hits. We can probably keep those in. Now I can adjust how long do I want that seat to be. 8 beats. I can just do 4 beats before it hits swooshes. Maybe I'll do that. So I'm gonna slide this over a bit. So now let's give a listen to the whole thing, and if we find anything, we can, tweak it and edit it. But again, we're going from a formerly used track to a new track. Okay, I'm stopping. I don't like that. I'm taking that damn thing out. It just reminds me of that police show. It's too quick of a movement, so it's gone. Bye-bye. So then, sorry, let's now just get every phrase that's in there. So I'm gonna make it a full phrase, Command R, and we're done. Didn't ring long enough. Okay, then do I want up an octave? Let me see something here. And down in the mix. Up an octave, down in the mix. How does that work? That might work for starters. Too loud. Okay, now that I play it with the swoosh is still too hot, and it buried out the high note piano that I lowered the velocity on earlier. So let's bring the piano back up a bit. Let's listen to that again. Yeah, that works. Was there some rumble in that? Let's look at the EQ on the rise and hit. Try again. There we go, that works for me. So I think we've got a cue here. Bada bing, bada boom. Closing windows out. So let's summarize. I took an original cue that was forwarded, signed, and used, or forwarded and signed, hasn't been used yet. Then I colored everything to a single color so I knew what had not been changed yet. And then went track by track, changing the sounds, keeping it similar to the track that was forwarded. First thing I did was I changed the key. I put everything up a whole step from D minor to E minor. Then I started changing patches one by one, keeping the patches similar enough from the previous, but yet unique enough to not be the same. Because it worked for the screener last time, I want it to work again. So I changed the pads, changed the bass, did the ambient guitar, slightly different, tone, changing patches, almost everything I changed the patches on. And then changed some melodic items, wrote a new melody or new theme, motif for the thing. Went and changed my percussion, and we are done. Good to see. So I won't play the whole thing because you just kind of heard it, and I edited along the way. Always listen to your stuff all the way through, and if you find something you don't like, it catches your attention, don't think, it's fine. No, think about what someone listening to this track would think. Oh, that's weird. What was that sudden noise? What was that sudden volume change? That sounds mushy, not good. If you hear something that catches your attention, distracts you, you need to go back and change that, because it's going to probably make someone not choose it for a variety of reasons. That being said, thanks for watching. Hope this was useful. We'll see you in the next video.